Good morning. Today we're going to give you our top 7 ways that RVing is way better today than it ever could have been in the 80s.
Only 7?
It's a short show.
Okay. We don't have all day, I guess.
We don't. Good morning and welcome to our channel. We would like to take just a minute first and thank those of you who have liked and subscribed to our Petrified Forest video. We had a lot of fun doing that and we have a lot more planned.
Yeah.
So today, as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to talk about the top 7 ways that RVing is way better today than it was in the 80s. We are new to the YouTube world, but we are not new to RVing. We are not RV newbies. Our current RV is a Tiffin Allegro 36LA. But what was our first one?
It was also a Tiffin Allegro, but it was shorter. It was, what, 27 feet. And had no slide outs.
No slide outs. Over the years, we've owned 2 fifth wheels and another motorhome. We had a Hawkeye fifth wheel and a Bighorn fifth wheel and a Monaco, used Monaco motorhome.
Yep.
And now our current Tiffin. So,
and then our original Tiffin, so 5 different ones. 5
different motorhomes over the years. So we're pretty familiar. So let's start with our number 7, and it is
leveling jacks. We had crank leveling jacks. You would go out in the rain and crank it up and make sure that you had the boards to put underneath to pull the RV up, and with the auto leveling, you just push the button and it just all does the thing. And I know a lot of people don't have those still, but it on a bigger rig, it really makes it a lot easier.
And our children were positive that they were abused.
Because we would send them out in the rain.
We would, in the rain and in the dark. And it's true, we did. They and their father, our two sons, who were 8 and 10 or 9 and 11 or something like that at the time, they'd go out there with their dad and they had to crank it up. We don't want to do it. What they did anyway. It didn't kill them. They're grown up now and they have their own kids. It's all good. But now it's pretty stupid easy. Park the motorhome, put on the emergency brake, press the button, and it just levels.
Yep.
It's so fantastic. So,
and we got snap pads too, which makes it even easier.
We do. Let's talk about snap pads for just a minute. We got those after a number of YouTube RVers recommended them. We finally got them actually after Getaway Couple put them on their channel, and they absolutely work exactly the way they say they do. You put the soap around them and put the jack down, and it snaps right on, and it's fantastic. We love our snap pads. Okay. It's really eliminated a need for extra boards and a lot of extra boards. We do have boards. We do carry boards with us.
Right. But it makes it so you don't have to go out every time, even on a flat surface, and put down something.
Exactly.
Okay, let's keep going.
All right, number 6. Let's hear it for appliances. Amazing appliance. Now, in all fairness, in the Tiffin and in both of the fifth wheels, I had a microwave, which back in 1987, which is I think 86 or 87, when we bought the Tiffin, that was incredible. I had a little gas stovetop, which I still have, a little propane gas stovetop. I'm pretty sure there was a little tiny oven, which was completely useless, and then the microwave, and which we could run and we had a generator. We must have had a generator. We must have had a generator.
Can't remember.
Because I could run the microwave while we were driving.
That's right.
So we had
to have a generator.
We had to have a generator. But today we have residential refrigerators. I do have one of those, and yes, we could talk about how much power they draw, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really nice to have one.
They stay cold when you're driving.
They stay cold.
That was the biggest problem we had with that refrigerator in that original Tiffin, is that we'd be driving along and the pilot light would go out. It wasn't 12 volt and gas, so we couldn't run it off at 12 volt while we drove. It was just propane.
It was terrible.
It was
It was terrible.
Yeah, because it would
we'd
get
stop
on
and the ice cream would start to melt. Everything,
Yeah.
you know, I'd go and go, oh my gosh, it's out again. So once we switched to the more modern ones, I think the Heartland had it, and
It had the 12 volt
it had
and
the 12 volt
and the propane,
which was really great.
and so that was good.
So appliances have really, 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 really improved a lot. And let's talk about TVs.
Oh yeah.
In our current Tiffin, we have 3 TVs. We could have had 4. We opted not to have the top one up over the dash put in. But we have 3 TVs, one in the living room, one in the bedroom, and one on the outside. How many TVs did we have in the original Tiffin?
0.
0. There were
I got this little TV VCR combination that was very small and worked off of 12 volts. So we put it in the
back bedroom,
and the kids watched Star
Wars
over and over and
and
over.
over
I think they ruined the
They
VCR.
totally wore it out. They totally wore out.
VHS.
They wore out the VHS.
Yeah.
They had that and Princess Bride memorized. It was crazy. To this day, they still do.
And our daughter hated it because
didn't want to watch it anymore.
the boys would insist on watching that.
They did, and she got really tired of it. So we had, so he rigged up a TV, but there were no TVs. And it's so nice to know because we have the big flat screens. They're lightweight. We don't have to worry about them crashing. They're all hooked into the walls. It's awesome.
It's great.
And in addition, we can also talk about, a lot of people have satellite. We've had satellite before. We currently do not. We use a Roku. There's lots of different ways you can get movies and TV now, so which was not available back in the 80s. So that's another thing that's way better. All right, number 5.
Power. So we did have a generator in our first one, but the batteries and everything, that we didn't have any solar. Solar was just barely coming out on houses.
Solar.
So it's so much better now.
When we have lead acid batteries, currently we don't have any. We don't have lithium, but lithium is a possibility for us down the road. A lot of you have got lithium batteries, the Battleborn, etc. Those are terrific. That kind of thing didn't even exist. I don't even think boondocking was a thing. It wasn't for us, and so it wasn't even on our radar.
Right. And I think the other thing is the generators that they have today are a lot better and quieter than what they were back in the day. And so that's a lot.
All right. Number 4, Slideouts. I don't even know how we did it. It was 27 feet long and about
8.5 feet wide.
8.5 feet wide. And that included the couch and so there was, not much. And today we personally in our Tiffin 36LA, we have 2, one large slide out and then a bedroom slide out. And we don't have opposing ones. We didn't need that much room. Yeah. But opposing slide outs, I don't know who invented slide outs, but they should get a medal.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was a game changer. An absolute game changer in the motorhome world.
Better.
It's just made it so much better. And we know that there can be drama with them and they can get stuck and everything, but there's ways to fix them. And
they sure make the living space a lot bigger.
Make it so much better.
A lot easier.
Makes it so you can really live in them. Live in them. So slide outs, we're going to put as number 4. Number 3.
GPS. It's like we had these paper maps. We had
Big Bad McNally book.
Yeah, and we had a book of all the campgrounds.
It was a good Sam book, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure that we ever stayed together. I don't even know that KOA was around. It might have been.
I think it was. I think we had a KOA book too.
But the Good Sam book was what we used.
That was the main one.
And we look it up, and then I would have to make the reservations at home. So we'd plan out our route. We knew where we're going, and that's how we would get to. We'd use the book to figure out which campground, and I'd make the phone calls and get the reservations set up before we left, because there was no such thing as doing it on the fly. There was no way to do that.
Yeah.
But
GPS makes it so much easier. You can just plug in where you're going. Now we still have a Rand McNally paper book.
We have the trucker's map.
Yeah.
Which, because of this, we're 13 feet high and about 50 or 60 feet long by the time you get our tow vehicle in there.
Yeah, tow vehicle on the back.
So we make sure that we plug in. Well, we use the Garmin 770. I think it's a 770 or 780.
The RV version of the
Garmin. The RV
Garmin.
version of the Garmin. Plug in our height and length, and so that it will take us most of the time only on the roads where we're going to fit. We also use Google Maps. I'm going to be using a few other maps just to kind of double check everything on the next trips that we do. But we always have the Rand McNally Truckers map. We have the Book Next Exit, which we use. And so we don't rely solely on the GPS. So the GPS, the satellite GPS in the form of the Garmin RV is really useful. And then, but always back it up. So, but we didn't have that even as an option back in the 80s. So that's our number 3. So, all right, let's go to number 2.
Internet. Wow. Back in the 80s.
It didn't exist.
It didn't exist, at least not in the form we use it today.
It was the brainchild of the military and universities. It didn't exist, people. It did not exist. There was no such thing as
Wi-Fi, MiFi.
No online reservations. No forums to help you. There was, forget about Facebook. There was nothing. There was nothing.
So, you had to rely a lot on paper documents and books about RVing
maps and books and
manuals.
Really, and I got to tell you, I'm just looking at my notes here. Derek said there was no such thing as Wi-Fi, MiFi, laptops, downloading.
Well, laptops, there was little laptops. They were DOS laptops.
He's a software developer, so in his world there were. But for the most part, there was no such thing as downloading and uploading and MiFi and Wi-Fi and all. These were not even words that were invented yet. They just weren't even on our radar. Today, we absolutely expect there to be Wi-Fi in campgrounds. We expect it. If there's
cell coverage.
That's part. Whenever we do a campground review, that's part of it. There's great cell phone coverage. There's great Wi-Fi, and we don't even want to go there if it doesn't have it. It's just part of the landscape now. We absolutely must have it, and so it's a huge shift and a huge change. And it's so much better now. So much better. So I don't know what we would do without the online forums, without YouTube, with all the connection that we have now. We really appreciate all the help that the internet and all the online opportunities give us now. So, all right. Now, finally, number 1.
Cell phones. We have cell phones. We love cell phones.
I'm actually shooting this on my iPhone 10.
Yeah, and we like smartphones, obviously.
Oh my, cell phones.
How did we live without them?
We got in so many scrapes with that first Tiffin. We had little kids. I can't even begin to tell you. There was an incident in South Dakota. Someday, we'll put that, not today, but we'll tell you about that incident. It was just a nightmare. I don't know how we did it. We'd have to stop and find a payphone. Does anybody even know? Could you even find a payphone today? Probably not.
It's hard.
Not very easily.
It's more likely that you go to somebody and say, "Can I borrow your cell phone?"
Exactly. Cell phones are absolutely the number one way that RV camping, is so much better. Now, I know that you could say, I want to disconnect, but you have the option at least. Back then, there was no option. You were disconnected, period.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, even when you didn't want to be. For those of you who's like, I want to disconnect great, turn it off. But it's still
go
there
someplace where there's no
in
coverage.
your backpack, and you can get in your car and drive to where there's cell phone coverage. Yeah. It is so much better and so much safer, especially as you're traveling with small children. It's just really huge. That's our number 1. But it was really hard to
pick whether it was internet or cell phone, because those are both really important. And they're sort of related because you get your internet coverage a lot of times through cell phones.
Exactly. So with that top 7 then, we have one more bonus, which we thought maybe we'd share with you since we really wanted to fit it in, but it didn't really...
Wasn't sure where to put it.
We could go on and on all day, but you don't want us to do that. So our bonus one is cameras. Cameras are so much better.
Yeah, they're digital. They're everywhere. They're in your cell phone. You got DSLRs. You got GoPros. You got gimbals. You got selfie sticks. In fact, Back in the 80s, there was no such thing as a selfie.
At
There
least
was
that's
no
what
way
we
to
called
take a
it,
selfie.
but there wasn't any way to take a selfie. You would sit it over there, or you have somebody else take the picture
Yeah,
with your
somebody
little
else would have to
camera.
take it.
You know.
Oh, they did have, I guess, some that had these long cords that you could actually press a button,
Yeah.
and it would push the shutter button on the
And
camera.
some really expensive cameras might have had timers.
Yeah, probably
Which
really expensive
you put
ones.
it on a tripod, and which you can still do. That still works, but we don't have to. The whole idea of the selfie didn't exist.
Yeah, and the selfie
Doing what we're
sticks and
doing right
stuff.
now didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't do that much video. In fact, we had a gigantic camcorder.
It was huge.
Might as well have been a cameraman for CBS or something. It was gigantic. But we thought it was very cool because, you know, it was a camcorder. But I remember we were being at SeaWorld, and you said, I don't want to do our whole vacation through the lens of a camera.
Yeah.
And because you had to look, you know.
Yeah, there wasn't like a nice big screen that you could see and just sort of, you know, make sure it was pointed in the right direction. You had to be looking at the camera the whole time, you know, through this little teeny
viewfinder thing.
Yeah.
And it was so much better.
Yeah.
And then drones.
Yeah,
Drones.
drones.
Was like, what? There's just so many things. There's so many things.
Well, I remember they had these little cameras you could put on those rockets that you could shoot up, so that you could take pictures.
Oh, I haven't heard about
that's
that.
the only way you could take aerials was with these rockets that you'd shoot up.
It's so much better.
You didn't have any control over what you saw. It was really bad.
So, with all that, if we would love to hear in the comments what your top 7 are, or some additional ways that you think that RV camping is way so much better now than it ever could have been in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. How is it better for you? And what kinds of things are you grateful that we have today that we didn't have back then? So, with that, we'll let you go. You have a great day. Everyone take care.
And don't forget, click subscribe.
And take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
We have one bonus item.
No, we haven't got to number 1 yet.
We have internet. Yes, we just talked about internet.
All right.
Just a minute. We have to have a pause so that you can cut this.
That's what this all is.
Okay.
I'm going to cut this. All right.
You need to snuggle over to me. You keep going over to the edge of the picture.